Hey good people, welcome back to Monique's Book List. So we are here to do the quickest video I could possibly do on the up and coming graphic novels I will be reading throughout the months of January and February. I have four that, or actually I have three that I will be reading from start to finish in that time. And then there are two that I will be reading as like continual reading in that time also. So like I won't finish these in the month of January or February. I just will be reading throughout the month in January and February. So let's get started with the ones I will be trying to complete. I'm going to first start with Batman Nightwalker. It is a graphic novel adaptation of the actual novel written by Marie Lu. The adaptation for the graphic novel is done by Stuart Moore, and the illustration in this graphic novel is done by Chris Wildgoose. It talks about basically Bruce Wayne as a teenager potentially going to prison, and you just go on the, I don't know much about the story outside of that, and you basically go on the ride. I love that phrase, go on the ride. You basically go on the ride with Bruce, with how he got into that predicament and how he's going to get himself out of it. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to read this. And I think I have to get these done by the end of January because these are all due back to the library. So next up is Hawkeye, and I know very little about this except this is written by Kelly Thompson. She also wrote, I think she wrote, which of my other graphic novels did she write? The Nancy Drew comic graphic novel. And I believe this is a collection of graphic novels, a collection of comic books for the story of Hawkeye. Hawkeye, if you know anything about Hawkeye in the Marvel universe, you will know that the character is typically a male adult, and this is a teenage female. And I'm excited to read it. It seems much thicker than most graphic novels I've read so far, so that's why I believe it is a collection of comic books put together to become one big graphic novel. So I'm really excited to read this. I think the art style is good. It's kind of typical graphic novel art style, nothing too unique about it, but yeah, I'm excited. And then last and the least of trying to get complete before the end of February is The Joker. Now The Joker, this is not, the other two I just showed you are considered YA graphic novels. This is not considered a YA graphic novel. This is a standalone graphic novel about the Joker, and I believe it is probably one of the darker ones that is done by him. I've read several stories about the Joker and how his descent into madness happened. Wow, I just opened it to some very graphic nature killing. So yeah, this is definitely not Jesus. So it seems like just looking at the pages here, this is literally the first time of me opening these pages. I think this may be based off of the Heath Ledger Joker. I'm looking at the story, just looking at this and kind of figuring out the storyline just a little bit. I think it's maybe based off of the Heath Ledger Joker, and I'm excited to read it. I don't know what to say. I just saw some very some graphicness of how someone just died. It was just a little bit took me back, just open it up to that's hella interesting. All right, so I'll be finishing those three in that time, and then I will also be continuing to read the graphic novel I got for Christmas from my husband, who is a lovely man, the Black Panther, and this is the complete collection by Reginald Hudlin, and Mr. Hudlin has put together a bunch of his graphic novels in this volume 3. There's volume 1 and 2, and so on and so forth. So he put all his comic books into this one graphic novel. Now, however, his comic books must be hefty, because the first story is that. Like, this is all the first story, graphic, like, comic book story. Look at that. Like, that's a lot for a comic book. I got a comic book over here Look how thin that is. Like this is a very thin comic book compared to this story. Like this would have had to been a hefty comic book. Anyway, so but I am excited to read this. It's a little heavy and a lot because it goes in and out of a bunch of stories, and so I decided not to read it in one sitting because one, I don't want to it was a Christmas gift and I don't want to just read it all at once and never pick it up again. So I will probably be continuing reading this through January, February, and probably March, but I will be reading this in January and February. Yeah, Black Panther. Next up, but never least in my heart, is Watchmen. Now, the Watchmen is a different story from the Black Panther. The reason why I'm taking my time with the story is because, one, Alan Moore, although he is a genius, is a sad, sad man. He hates people. He thinks people are the worst thing on the planet. Like, this man writes the most horrific situations for humans to be in ever in life. So it's not only is it a heavy read, it's a sad heavy read. So yeah, that's why I'm taking my time with this. This probably will take me a good 6 months to read because it's just heavy. So I can only read a few pages before I'm like, I need something to laugh. I need to smile or something because god damn, Alan Moore. So yeah, those are all my graphic novels for the next couple of months. Actually, it will probably be more, but these are the ones I have now to read. I know that I'm scheduled to read the next Teen Titan that comes out, but that doesn't come out until June. And of course, the next story about Catwoman, and of course Raven. So when those sequels come out, I will be reading those. But that's it for now for when it comes to graphic novels. So yeah, I think this was a sweet, to the point video. And you know what I'm gonna say. Out of love and admiration, I'm gonna say bye and thank you for watching.